The Vera, Usifo, and Universal School of Aviation case study. When data protection meets image rights, commercialization, and intellectual property, issues are raised. Can a school use a student's photograph for branding without consent? Does educational purpose automatically allows a school to use a student's photograph? And also, can a person's identity be worth some value, worthy of protection? These and much more are the questions and issues raised in the landmark case of Vera Usifo and Universal School of Aviation. This case was brought before Honorable Justice A. Faji of the Federal High Court. As reported by Joe Victor of barristerng.com. Although the case was decided under the Data Protection Act and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as touching on privacy law, however, there are principles entrenched in intellectual property. And this is why at DVIPC, we find this as an opportunity to educate the general public on intellectual property matters as raised in this very case law. Issues such as commercialization, personality or image rights, and the value of a person's identity are things to be discussed by this case study. Now, let's look at the background as reported. The facts, as reported by Job Victor, shows that the student or the complainant, Vera, happened to have applied to the school, gained admission, and after a little while left the school, only to return a few years later to discover that her image was used as a promotional tool by the school, simply because she had ticked a random form at entry point indicating consent for the use of a photograph by the institution. Her pictures or images displayed prominently on the school's premises and also produced on graduation souvenirs which were distributed to people that attended the graduation ceremony over a couple of years. At discovery, she immediately involved the lawyers requesting the school to take down her images and also pay some compensation. However, the school refused and the matter was taken to court. Now, this matter came before Honorable Justice A.O. Faji. While the court focused on the absence of consent, however, a broader policy question remains: supposing that proper consent had been obtained, would that automatically make the arrangement fair? Some scholars increasingly argue that where an individual's image contributes significant commercial value, discussions should move from just ordinary consent to compensation, licensing, revenue sharing, scholarship, or benefit sharing arrangements, without which there is exploitation. This debate is likely to shape the future development of image rights in Nigeria. This is why at DBIBC will find this to be a key lesson for awareness creation. For schools to obtain specific consent and avoid vague authorization clauses. Businesses should recognize that identity is increasingly being treated as valuable asset in today's age and world. Ensure lawful and ethical use of people's images. At DVIPC Academy, we believe intellectual property awareness should not be confined to the courtroom. Universities, professional circles, our mission is to disseminate, demystify intellectual property concept to the grassroots. So everyone who hears this information can run with it. This includes creating awareness on intellectual property rights, data protection, privacy rights or image right or personality rights, digital rights, and innovation. Commercialization of intangible assets in Vera Sifu's case reminds us that intangible assets are not limited to patents, trademarks, industrial designs, copyright, and what have you. Sometimes the most valuable asset may be a person's identity. Therefore, guard your identity jealously. As technology, education, and commerce continue to converge, awareness becomes the first line of protection. If you are not aware that your image is worth something, you won't get value. That is why the VIPC Academy remains committed to simplifying complex legal concepts and making them accessible to schools, teachers, students, creators, innovators, and the communities at large. DVIPC's discussion point beyond this. If a school uses a student image to attract enrollment, build reputation, and generate commercial advantage, should consent alone be sufficient, or should a student be entitled to participate in value created from that use? The conversation continues from here.